What's up, Nitro Gang? Welcome back. This video is going to be a little bit different than what you could normally expect from me. There's not going to be any bashing, but there will be a lot of very interesting information. I am literally going to be doing a screen record of my eBay account. What you don't see on my channel is a lot of the selling. I'm going to be showing you guys two of the recent Nitros I sold, and just so you know, don't think it's that easy. There's always problems. A lot of the times, actually 2 out of 3 times, people just wind up not paying. And then you gotta relist your item, go through the whole transaction, get in your final value feedback. It's a job in itself. You know, my channel, I don't review a bunch of pointless crawlers all the time. I have weird things that I in fact like. This is something that looks like a toy, but it's never been seen on my channel. Do you see what the brand name right here is? Yep, that's right. It says Megatech. One of the coolest early 2000s and late 90s companies that people today really don't know much about. This company made a Nitro dragster that I think is very cool, very collectible, and I will be getting one day. But this is one of their early toy version RCs. This was a cheap eBay pick, but once again, I haven't even talked about this on my channel. Why? Because I'm still doing some research on my own. Here I have a couple things I also bought recently on eBay. You will actually see what this is when I go over my purchase history. Here's another box of stuff I bought on eBay. And I haven't even unboxed this yet because, you know, I has a box. Sometimes I has many boxes just like Jang. And eventually I will get around to it. Years ago when I first started out, it wasn't just, hey, let me get 300 bucks, I want to buy this. Sure, I bought my first RC brand new, was an HPI Nitro RS4 III with shaft drive. But I had to basically buy, you know, used eBay lots and repair them and fix them and hope to make like a 30% profit in the best case scenario. Now, years ago, it was much easier to do that. Today, it's just not the case. There's a lot of competition. Today, if you make like a 15% profit on fixing some old Nitro, you're going to be lucky to even sell it at that point. And shipping today is also not cheap. I recently shipped like a small box. It was one of my Nitro rustlers you guys are going to see. And the shipping was like $35 to somewhere in America. I mean, it's insane. It was a 1/10 scale RC. The shipping was $35. Insane. I think I charged like 18 bucks, so I actually lost on that one. But hey, that's just one of those things. Buying and selling is not always as easy as it seems. Let's get straight to my eBay account now. Let's start with my eBay watch list. A couple of interesting things here that I was looking at. Doesn't mean I necessarily bid on them. Just, you know, some of my personal information. Ford Explorer. I don't know why I like this body style of Ford Explorer. Actually like this seller, so this thing sold for 1,500 bucks. This truck was actually in pretty good shape, but let's all talk about RCs because that's what we're here to watch. HPI Nitro RS4 III Evo sold for 120 bucks. Not a bad deal, but you really got to examine this auction. Let's see what it looks like. Here's the original listing here, so you could tell it sold for 120, 8 bids. The body looks to be in really good shape. I can tell it has an old school AM radio and a 1500 pack for the roto start. So this is quite an older model, but the chassis itself seems to be in really good shape. It does have a 2-speed. It has a fuel filter. What's really important is the air filter is actually on the motor. You never want to buy an RC without the air filter on the motor. And if you do, well, expect to have some renovation time into the RC, or expect to pay, you know, not so much for it. But the body seems to be good. It doesn't look like these are actually the original wheels. As I look at the thing here from the top, these look like HPI Super Nitro wheels. These do not look like the correct 10th scale wheels. They're just a little bit funny looking. You could tell that it looks like the wheel wells were just really cut out here in the front on this HPI. So it has a lot of, I would say, unsavory type of upgrades done to it. It doesn't honestly even look like an Evo because it has fixed camber links here on top of the wheels, which is pretty weird because the pipe is aluminum and the exhaust is the tubular exhaust, which is correct for the Evo. But a lot of weird things going on here. I'm not sure if this is original, but the wheels definitely don't look like they are originals. 120 bucks and $16 shipping. I still think this is a relatively good deal for this RC. The radio is usable. If you wanted to upgrade to 2.4 gigahertz, you can. The chassis itself is fairly clean. I did not bid on this. The reason is I just don't really want another 10th scale card like this. Let's continue. HPI Nitro RS4. This one is actually kind of interesting. Let me open it up. Watch this one because it's very interesting. Now, it's advertised as HPI RS4 Nitro car. You could already tell that, you know, they don't even know which model this is because this is not an RS4. This is a Super Nitro. Now, I know this from years of my own experience. Generally, the shock towers, you could tell they're completely different from a regular RS4, but the chassis itself is also a little bit longer than the regular 10th scale. You could tell that the exhaust pipe here sticks out. It's not original, but it does have a good amount of aluminum upgrades. I could tell it has a really weird belt tensioner here, aluminum steering upgrade. Now, these are what look like 10th scale wheels. These are not the original Super Nitro wheels, I think. This is a belt drive chassis. The motor is pull start. The fuel tank is original. You could tell it has a primer, but it's missing a body. And a body for a HPI Super Nitro or a Super Nitro Rally is not cheap. This is actually a fairly good price. It sold for $136 here and only $13 shipping. I actually forgot to bid on this. I was going to be bidding on it, but unfortunately I just, I forgot to bid. The seller has 17 feedback, which is moderate. But, these are relatively collectible, the Super Nitros. There are people that sell these for a lot of money. The Duratrax Raise 8th scale Nitro RC car sold for $102 and $20 shipping. This is actually something I used to have years and years ago. This is an 8th scale Duratrax buggy. Basically used a similar engine. These were actually Thunder Tiger engines. I had the Duratrax Warhead. I had the RTX 27. So I know my Duratrax history. When it really comes down to it, it's a basic 8th scale buggy. Nothing that exceptional here, although I do see something weird already. This pipe, this is a ribbed pipe. I think this is a Paris-tuned pipe, if I'm not mistaken. Someone will probably correct me. It is not the original pipe for this motor. This looks really, really small. You could tell that the actual stinger to the pipe is not even where the brush guard for the molded chassis there should be. So not the original pipe, although I do see an air filter on it. That's already a good sign. Pipe, not a big deal. It'll still run, but of course it won't have the proper back pressure and you might have some issues. But, for the money that it sold, $102 here, $20 shipping, I still think this is a good buy as long as everything seems to be there, which it does seem to be there. Let's check out the seller description. Basically no seller description at all, so you're going to be taking a gamble on this. Next thing here, we have the Traxxas Slayer, which is a short course truck. I didn't bid on it because it just, engine does not start. I really just didn't want to waste my time on it. We have an October 2002 remote control car action magazine. No bids, didn't sell. I was going to buy this one, but just something came over me and I just didn't make the buy on this particular one. Here's the scooter. I wanted another one, the 49cc scooter that I actually have. And once again, it sold for $260, free shipping, and I missed out on this one. I would have loved to have one. Here's something very interesting. I'm going to open this listing up. I'm going to check it out. This right here, XTM Racing Baja Blade, 10th scale Nitro with transmitter, .15 motor, little use. I've never seen this. This is a really, really early Nitro XTM. This is a two-wheel drive, what looks like some kind of blade, but it really doesn't matter what it is. The wheels look okay. It looks original. What really matters here is that it's original. You could tell it's really old because it has these like really weird pin-style tires, which, a lot of these early Nitros had. But look at the cooling head on the motor. It's like a really laid down flat design. I'm not sure if this is like the fact that they didn't know whether to use a larger one for better heat dissipation was a good idea or not. But, it's a cool RC. There's a picture here with the glow plug missing. The inside of the engine looks clean. Of course, we don't know whether the piston itself actually moves or not. The chassis seems to be relatively complete. I could tell it does have some use. The chassis does have some scuffs, but what really matters is you could tell the spur gear is in one piece. And because parts for these are not going to be easy to get, clearly it's like a really old vintage Nitro RC. I could tell in this picture the pull start cord is out, so yeah, the pull start is going to need a lot of work and repair, maybe a replacement, maybe a possible conversion to some kind of roto start system. So, there's already a lot of work that's going to be required for something like this. Now, the reason I didn't really want to bid on it is look at this shipping, $52. That's really, really high. If they charge more than, I would say, $30 for a 10th scale Nitro, I really just don't want to buy it. It sold for 85 bucks, and before this, it was actually listed for a little bit more than that. This looks like some kind of estate reseller. It says, I was lucky enough to buy a lot of stuff from the estate of an avid RC collector, blah, blah, blah. So chances are they don't know the condition of this. They're just basically reselling it, which is okay, but as long as you get it cheap enough and you're willing to take the risk on something like this, you could have yourself a nice vintage Nitro RC. I personally like this kind of stuff. I don't mind AM radios. I like the fact that the box is included. To me, that's like key for something, you know, in terms of a collector. Another vintage Nitro magazine. I didn't bid on this. This right here, this HPI Nitro RS43 Evo, I highly considered bidding on, and I think I actually got outbid on this one. It sold for $102. It had free shipping. This is a fairly good condition one, but of course the seller's description was terrible. They didn't know the condition of the motor. It said it like it wasn't turning over, it was seized, blah, 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 blah. Here we have a 16 scale Exceed. I actually like these things. I always liked the Nitro Minis, and I had an HPI Nitro Mini. Buggy Radio Car 116 Exceed sold for $132, $25 shipping. Now, if you check these out brand new on Nitro RCX, these sell for like 150 bucks, so this actually was not a good deal at all. The only thing that is particularly interesting about this is the fact that it is a micro and it runs a Nitro motor. So 16 scale Nitros are fairly rare. I did have the HPI Nitro Mini, and I did love it. It had a nice OS engine. This description here, blah, blah, blah. Only 3 tanks of fuel ran through it. Engine was broken correctly and tuned. Okay, so the description seems pretty good. The seller has good feedback, 445. I would say this sold for a little bit on the higher side, a little bit more comfortable than where I wanted it to be in terms of price. But, you know, I don't see any bad signs here of the RC itself. The fuel tubing seems okay. The air filter is on the motor. I don't see any scratches on the coolant head. The wheels seem okay. It's just, you know, a really low entry specific type of an RC, but you can get parts for these and they're actually kind of cool in my opinion. This right here, Megatech, guys, this is what it's all about. I actually got outbid on this. Let me expand this. Okay. So here we're looking at it. It's a Lexus IS 250 body. The car seems in ideal condition. This is an early Megatech 10 scale Nitro touring car. And I love Megatech just because it's so weird and they're kind of uncommon today. They had these motors called the Chris Chanelli Q1.6. These are actually some pretty good motors. The Megatech M16, basically the same exact engine as this. The SH16 or 18 were also pretty much similar in my opinion. The chassis is brand new. It looks like this thing was never run. It has a 2-speed. The only thing is, you know, the engine screws are not countersunk. This is like one of those weird things Megatech used to do. I do like the original owner's manual, the Nitro Razor XT Pro car. Megatech high performance products. Now, unfortunately, Megatech was really expensive from what I remember years ago, and the hardware they used, you could tell they're using like Phillips head screws here. You don't expect to see Phillips head screws unless you're looking at like an early vintage Traxxas 4Tech, you know, from the 1990s here. This was like a $300+ 2-speed Nitro touring car. It sold for, I would say, a very good price. Unfortunately, I got outbid on it. And I was pretty sad actually. It didn't come with a remote control or nothing, but the body is ideal, the wheels are ideal, and this is a really nice collectible to have, I think, in my opinion. What do you guys think about this? $145, very fair, $15 shipping. Here is a Red Cat. The description is, you know, terrible. It sold for $76. Nitro touring car. I know this is a basic Red Cat chassis, similar to like the Nitro Shockwave and all of that kind of stuff. Here's a Duratrax Nitro Evader. I was bidding on this one. Unfortunately, I lost $51. Pretty good price. Now, here's something really interesting. I'm going to click on this Traxxas T-Max right here. Very interesting truck. Here is the Traxxas T-Max Big Block Motor XTM Extended Chassis Monster Truck. It says rare. It's sold for $300 and $45 shipping. It has, this truck you could tell has a lot of money spent on it. The body's really nice. The wheels are from, I think, the Traxxas Summit, the 1/10 scale. Now, this particular one has the XTM T-Max 21 conversion kit and the Dynamite .28 big block engine. The thing with these Traxxas trucks is a lot of people want to put big blocks on there, but you need a conversion kit. What it basically comes down to is the chassis on the stock T-Max is not long enough. Even if you get the 3.3, the stock chassis is not long enough to accommodate the longer engine. So people would get conversion kits or longer extended chassis, which basically is what this is. You could tell this blue chassis is clearly not original. This is the only way to install a big block engine. Otherwise, your exhaust header will be hitting the shocks. You could even tell here that the exhaust header is literally on top of the shock mount here in the back. This is a really nice build. I like this. Even the color on the truck's body, you could tell that it's beautiful. I like this thing. Now, I was gonna bid on it, but this is just a really specific type of an RC. This is, I would say, a shelf queen in my opinion. And I really just didn't want to spend $300 on another T-Max. I have 2 T-Maxes already. You know, T-Max Tony is a fan of those, but this is a really nice model, and for someone that bought it, I think they're going to be happy with it. Here's a quick glance on just a couple of the other things I was watching. I'm not going to discuss all of them at the same time here, but, you know, just so you guys could get an understanding of some of the stuff I like to look at. Clearly, a lot of older vintage Nitro HPIs. Here's a Yokomo GT4. I also lost this one. And here's a RC Car Magazine lot that I won. I actually showed this to you in the beginning of this video. One of the boxes was this exact auction. Pretty cool, I know, right? Alright, Nitro Gang, I'm going to cut this video now. We'll cover the eBay selling and purchases portion of my eBay account later. For now, I'm going to be bringing you the Nitro Gang's Media Check, the newest issue of Radio Control Car Action Magazine. And guess what? You could always count on there being a lot of bagels and toasters in a cover. This is absolutely no difference, but don't worry. I have the eBay purchase that I made here, one of the old RC Car Action magazines. I'm going to open this up in just a minute here on live video. I haven't even looked at it. I don't even remember what year this is. I just want to point out that I already went through this magazine right here. We're not going to be going through it in this video, but guess what? Guaranteed absolutely zero gas, absolutely zero nitros in here. There's just a bunch of good-looking bagels, you know, with butter here on the front. It's basically a chassis with a good-looking body. You know what? Like, a body is a body. What's the big deal? It's all about the intricateness of the nitro or gas chassis. Who cares? It's electrics. Like, they're all the same. You know, you stick in a motor, you stick in a battery. I don't even have anything to say about any of this. This is like super boring to me. This guy's right here, this is what it's all about. This is a February 2004 issue Radio Control Car Action magazine. 52 miles per hour XTM Mammoth. Pretty freaking cool. I love XTM. They always had a lot of these really weird RCs. Unfortunately, they were just too expensive. But don't you worry. I will be getting, you know, hopefully an XTM on my channel here sooner or later. But it's one of those things where, you know, my recent video got demonetized. Check out this little icon. So I requested review. They still demonetized it. I guess it features an air rifle, but I even said this is a very safe video, but YouTube went ahead and demonetized it anyway. What's the difference? This is the kind of stuff I'm gonna do anyway. If I have to take out a bad lipo with an air rifle, I'm gonna do it. I don't care if it takes me like 10 shots. In fact, I'm gonna keep making videos like this when the lipos go bad, and I'm gonna charge them, and then I'm gonna take him out again in the backyard. I'm gonna shoot him. They're also talking about the Radio Shack X mod. Very, very cool. I actually have a video on my channel of one. It wasn't a very popular video, but I know all about the X mods line of RCs from Radio Shack. They are honestly very, very cool, cheap. I think I bought them for like $15 at the time when they were going on clearance, and people just weren't buying them. Now, you're lucky to get them for like $80 or $100 on eBay in pretty bad condition, to be honest with you. Either way, guys, you know, watch my other video with the battery shooting. It's demonetized. I asked YouTube for help to review it. They said, hell no, bro. See you later. I guess YouTube only really wants to kind of approve, you know, clickbait videos where people claim certain things that don't even transpire. But hey, that doesn't matter. I'm here to make videos I like, and hopefully the rest of you like watching. Nitro Gang out. See you later.